So Helen, you wanted to talk to us a bit about the special summers that you spent as a child at Coilavoulin. So you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Talk a little bit more about which?
Coilavoulin?
Coilavoulin, yes. Well, my dad had a medical practice in Sarnia, and he decided that we should have a place to go on the lake for the summertime. So the day he bought an old cottage. It was 100 years old when he bought it. It had been a home, but it was right on the lake, and there were good roads around it leading to it. But he bought the old house, and it had already been called Coilavoulin by, no, I don't think so. It hadn't been called, but my mom had come from Scotland, and she had the home that she grew up in was called Coilavoulin. So she decided that that would be a good name for the cottage, so called it Coilavoulin. And apparently it's a Gaelic name that means mill by the woods, which wasn't exactly descriptive of our cottage, but it had been where Mom had grown up. And as the day school ended, we headed for Coilavoulin, and we were there for the summer. And when we first got it, my brothers and sisters were there too, but the years that I remember best were the war years. And in the war years, my sister and two brothers, Mary and, I guess my two sisters and two brothers went up to help my dad's brothers and sisters that were on the farm, because they all needed help with the thrashings and things like that around the farm. So they went there, and I was lonely because I was well, in those years, in the war years, I was just into my teens, and I didn't have anybody to play with. So there was the Toronto Star, the Toronto Star paper used to advertise that there were young girls in the Toronto area that needed to get out of the city because their parents couldn't look after them very well, and they needed to get out of the city for a bit of a holiday. And so my mom and dad said, well, we could take a couple of girls. And so usually there were two girls came from Toronto, and one would be about my age and one would be about Jean's age. And that was kind of, it was nice for me because I was lonely otherwise. There was a boy lived, he was, Mrs. Toes lived across the street from us, and her husband had died, but she had a son, Stanley. And Stanley was there. He was older than I was, but he would be, I would go over and want to play with Stanley and swing on his swing and whatnot, but I was sort of the little sister that tagged along. So, but anyway, they were all good years, and have lots of happy memories about Coilavoulin. And just in a few years ago, my sisters and I went back, and we were able to stay in the old cottage, which was it was just what did they call it? I forget what they called it. It was just had siding on it, and it had been cured with oil, leftover oil from trucks and cars and things. So it was black. It was black, but my dad had all the trim around all the windows and the doors painted white. So it was quite an attractive place. And out behind on the lakeside, out behind the house, there was a nice area that Dad was able to put grass, sow grass seed, and it was amongst just was lined with trees, but there was an area and the grass grew, and we called it our Japanese garden back there. So that was, it was just a nice place to spend the summers. So.
Mom, can you tell about Thetford?
Oh,
Going to
Thetford. Yes, and of course we didn't have any indoor plumbing at all. No running water. We did have a pump just right at the back door, so that we had water, and it wasn't bad tasting, but we certainly didn't have any indoor toilet. So we had an outhouse. My dad built a little building, just a little shelter actually, but it had, and we used to laugh because it had 2 holes that, yeah, 2 of us could go to the bathroom at the same time and sit next to each other if we needed to, and at bedtime we needed to go at the same time. So we said it was so far away, we felt as if we were going to Thetford, which was a smaller town farther up Lake Huron. So we called it Thetford, and then we would come back in and stay in Coilavoulin for the night, and yeah, we had lots of fun in those years.
Did your mom have a song that she sang with you?
Oh yes, that's right. On the way to Thetford, my mom would sing a song. It's a starry night for a ramble through the flowery dell, o'er the bush and bramble, a kiss but never tell. Of all the things that I like best to fill me with delight, it 'tis to take a ramble upon a starry night.